Automatically. What's good? What's good? What's good, fans? Thank you guys for tuning in. Voice of the Fans podcast. This is your man Cam on location here in Las Vegas. Where we at the Mandalay Bay. We got on Saturday Terrence Bud Crawford going against Showtime Sean Showtime Porter Saturday in a welterweight championship fight. Bud's already saying, it's a win-win for Porter. It's a lose for him. But nonetheless, they still got to get in the ring on Saturday and talk about it. We're gonna talk about that fight a little later. But that's where I'm at. How you doing? You up in the Northwest, right, Mr. Clevon?
Doing all right. Trying to stay out of these floods, but doing the best we can.
You got the moccasins, the rubber boots on? Like you ready to fend for the fight the winner, old man winner?
It's clearly monsoon season much sooner than we had anticipated. So yeah,
man, it cooled off today. Although I left LA early this morning. Yesterday cooled off. It was about where I was at, about 72 degrees. But the previous days, man, it was in the 90s. Man, we had a heat wave there, so it was pretty unseasonably warm. But nonetheless, it cooled off today. I'm actually in Vegas, as I mentioned, so it was. I've been in the building I ain't been outside since 12 o'clock, but it was around 65 degrees if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But not a cloud in the sky. No water nowhere. So they hate to rub that in. But fans, you guys are tuning in to Voice of the Fans podcast. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. As always, once again, however you're watching, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave us a comment or two. Let us know what you think of the show. As I stated, my name is Cam, and I got my man Clevon working with me, hanging with me. We're not going to waste his time, and we're going to talk about we got a lot to talk about, actually. We got NFL recap. What is it, week 9 recap? We got a week 10 recap. We got a week 11 preview. We're going to reveal our power rankings in the NBA this week. Also talk about some of the big games in the NBA this week. We got This Week in History, as always, and then we're going to do our I don't know how much time we're going to spend on a fantasy football competition, but the Voice of the Fans, we probably won't spend much time on that. I probably shouldn't even brought that up.
Right.
But I want to thank you guys again for tuning in to Voice of the Fans podcast. Shout out to our guys from HNB Media TV. We get aired there. Our show gets aired there, so you can simulcast us there. Maybe you're watching it there, or if you're watching our Voice of the Fans on YouTube, we appreciate it. And if you're listening to us on the go, we appreciate that too. But give us a pound, give us a like. If you like the show, let us know what you think of the content, and give us some feedback, man. We want you guys to be a part of the show, so tune in, let us know that you're there and you're a part of the show. We appreciate that. So what we're going to start with, each and every week we start with the numbers, our number game. Clevon, November 17th is today. We're doing show 166. So we want to use those shows, 17 and 66. So use those numbers, I should say, 17 and 66. When you think of the number 17, Mr. Clevon, who wore that number best? Or who come to your mind first? Outside of your boy Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, outside of my boy Ryan Tannehill, I guess the next person that would come to mind first would be Doug Williams. Just being symbolic. First African American quarterback to win the Super Bowl. I think who wore it best would probably be Hondo, John Havlicek. Rings speak out.
Oh, rings speak out. Here we go. Okay. Remember you said that. Remember, keep that in mind. Rings speak out. Keep that in mind when we get to talking about the better or the best, okay?
Okay.
Peter Nedved. Now, I know you guys got the Kraken in town.
It's cracking up here.
It's cracking up there?
It's cracking up here.
But Peter Nedved played with the original Seattle Thunderbirds. So Peter Nedved, I had to give a shout out to Peter Nedved, Daryl Waltrip, John Havlicek, as you mentioned. Those are some cool names to think about. Number 66, Mario Lemieux, Ray Niski, Andy Heck, longtime Seahawk. Oh, you don't remember Andy Heck?
I mean, a little bit, man. I mean, it's all about Lemieux when you talk about 66. I mean,
Okay, Lemieux. I mean, Nick
first
Bonacani.
to mind, best to wear it. Yeah, it's kind of a open and shut case in my opinion.
Okay. Open and shut case. We still have Ray Niski and Nick Bonacani. I mean, you got to give those guys some love. Those are some stalwarts to do it.
Shout outs, man. Honorable mention.
Honorable mention. This is a tough guy today. This is a tough guy today. So, NFL topics, man. NFL was a wild weekend. When we got off the air last week, we had some things brewing in the air, and then actually Odell Beckham goes to the Rams. They pushed it to the Rams, man. If you're a fan of football, if you're a fan of teams in general, when they push all the chips into the middle of the table, like, you got to respect somebody who does that. Just take everything they have, all the pennies, all the lint out their pockets, and they just press everything to the middle of the table. You got to appreciate that. And that's what we saw. That's what we saw the Rams do for the last couple of seasons. They went and got their quarterback on the off season. Now they went and got a receiver. Unfortunately, Robert Woods went down with the injury, but then they went, just before that, they went and signed Odell Beckham. Again, pushing all their chips to the middle of the table. I know he's in your division. Let's see if you can be objective here and talk about your thoughts on the Rams pushing all their chips to the middle of the table. Oh, and we didn't mention Von Miller in that same breath.
No, like you mentioned, Cam, I am impressed with their, mindset. It's all or nothing right now, and they certainly went out and got some, at least resume-wise, some really good pieces to kind of round this out. And before Robert Woods got hurt, I think they were probably the odds-on favorite in the NFC to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so that was very impressive. How do you expect Beckham to kind of fit in with the quarterback that got Matt Stafford? Obviously, they only had like 3 hours to kind of get some work done together before they showed up on Monday Night Football. But what do you expect from Beckham moving forward?
I don't expect him to be an integral part of the offense. I think he's, someone that, here and there can make a big play for him. I don't think that Odell Beckham is the splash that everyone was thinking, and certainly not with the absence of Robert Woods, just puts that much more pressure on him. I don't think he's going to be that guy. I think he's going to be some guy that, maybe here and there can, have a 5 or 6 catch game, but not a game changer.
Not a game changer, he says. So you don't think he's an adequate replacement for the season to Robert Woods?
No.
Is that health? Is that ability? Is that why?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, I think that Odell Beckham has seen his his rise and fall happen before his very eyes, and it's just been kind of a shell shock for him.
Interesting. This is the first I've heard you say something like this, because I think you were an advocate for him coming back and playing this year. And had he signed with the team up north, the Seattle Seahawks, I think you might have a different impression.
You always say that, Cam. I mean, he is where he is, and doesn't really have any
what I'm saying?
bearing on my assessment of what he's going to be able to do for them. You know what I'm saying? Good luck.
But had he showed up in Renton, you might have had a different outcome. There might have been a different outlook on the season. That what I mean?
He's not a part of this organization, so I can't really speak to what my thoughts would have been if he was a part of this organization.
Oh my goodness, fans! I was looking for some I'm looking for some objectivity, and you see we get none. We get absolutely none.
Objectivity.
We get absolutely none.
I just said what I
with the
think he's going to
rival.
contribute to the Los Angeles Rams.
You said nothing. You said nothing. He's not going to contribute. Essentially said he's not going to contribute. Essentially, that's what you said.
He'll have a big game here or there, maybe 5 or 6 catches.
He'll be
a contributor.
Wait. 5 or 6 catches on the season?
No, he'll have a few games where he has 5 or 6 catches, contributing, 5 or 6 catches, 75, 80 yards, that kind of thing.
So let's see. We're in week 10. They got seven weeks to go. Does he average 75 yards a game?
No.
Receiving in the next 7 games. He does not average 75 catches or 75 yards a game.
No.
Does he average 3 catches a game moving forward and just in the next 7 games?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he'll over 3 catches a game. Yeah.
Over 3 catches. So there's some production out of there, but he won't get 75 yards a game. He won't average 75 yards a game. What would you say his average would be, Mr. Clevon, Mr. Objectivity?
I'm going to say 46, 47 yards a game.
46, 47 yards a game. That's what he'll average over the next 7 weeks?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. How confident are you in what you speak?
I haven't seen a whole lot of Odell Beckham in this offense, so it's kind of my early assessment. We'll see after a game.
Are you Brazilian?
Changes, but I don't really think it's gonna.
Are you Brazilian dinner confident? Are you Ivor's inside Ivor's happy hour confident?
No.
Well, you're not even Salty's confident.
I'm probably Chick-fil-A.
Oh my goodness! So exactly. So you have essentially no confidence in that comment.
Well, I have enough other wagers on the table, Cam. I'm not really I'm trying to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Like Chris Carson won't gain over 50.
Diversify my portfolio a tad, but I don't want to add a sunk cost into that.
Okay, all right. I'm just like Deshaun Jackson under 8 games.
Ooh, well, really? Okay, well.
I mean, we looked at it last week. He already played 7 games.
That one. I mean,
we already played 7 games
right now.
Oh, he's here in Las Vegas. In fact, I'm gonna go holler at him after the game. After the show, and make sure we're in line for just a couple more games. I need 2 more games out of you, Deshaun. So I'm gonna go holler at him after this.
Okay.
What did you think about Russell? Well, I'm sorry. Let's get back before we move on to Russell. Whose fault can you lay any fault to Odell Beckham and Baker Mayfield in Cleveland? What was that issue? Who do you place blame on, Odell or Baker? Now, you didn't like Baker. That's not even a fair question. You were never a Baker fan. You never liked Baker, so right off the top, you're going to blame Baker for their misunderstandings.
I don't know if blame is the right word, Cam. Yeah. I mean, I think it's just an unrealistic level of expectation. I mean, he acted like he was playing with Aaron Rodgers. He was playing with Baker Mayfield. With a strong running game and a strong defense. So, yeah, he's not going to be the focal point of the offense. Reminded me a lot of Keyshawn Johnson when he went down there and played with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Keyshawn Johnson caught passes there, and they actually went to the Super Bowl.
They did.
Yeah, the Browns didn't have that type of success there.
Yeah, but they went to the Super Bowl because of the defense, Cam. It had nothing to do with Keyshawn whatsoever.
I mean, Sean King gets no credit?
No. Sean King actually was not the quarterback on that team. The Brad Johnson.
Brad Johnson gets no credit for leading those guys to the Super Bowl? Mike Allstott doesn't get any credit for
a little bit. No, Mike Allstott work done for sure. Yeah, they get some credit, man. But not so much Keyshawn. The example was of a prima donna number 1 receiver going someplace where they're just not going to utilize his talents to his fullest potential and to his highest and best use. This is not the environment for that. So unfortunately, that's what Odell Beckham was dealing with in Cleveland, Now he gets to Los Angeles, and of course he has much greater opportunity with a much freer flowing offense. But I don't know how healthy he is. I don't know where his mind's at. And now before he was just going to be a piece of all of this. But with Robert Woods going down, all of a sudden he has to play a much greater role in their success or failure in going to the Super Bowl. So I just don't trust him at this point in his career.
Okay, so tell me this: did Sierra and ODB, did they have some beef or something? Like, my understanding was Russell was calling them to say, "Why don't you come to Seattle? Give us some consideration." But then Sierra heard that phone call and hung up on him. What's the deal? What happened there?
No, he saw the record. He wasn't 100% sure what Russ was going to do. After this, and how he was going to come back. From injury, and just kind of hedged his bets. Man. Smart move. Businessman, wise man decision.
So Sierra and Snyder had nothing to do with his decision making. They didn't talk him out of signing with the Seahawks.
No.
Okay, you wouldn't discount Sierra's involvement all the time, but I think you understand that she has a bigger part than you're willing to let on in the development of those Seahawks. Did Russ? Speaking of Sierra, she let her husband get back on the field last week. Did she do that a little too soon? Did she say he's ready to go? Did she kick him out the house a little too soon?
Extraordinarily, he was able to fight through that injury and get back on the field. Extremely rusty, probably a week too soon.
Okay. And boy, they got shut out. When do you remember the Seahawks getting shut out?
Can't remember.
What was that?
Can't remember last time. Don't know.
Oh, you're done. You're done on that topic. You don't want to talk about the last time the Seattle Seahawks were shut out.
I don't.
Well, let's go into the.
It's been so long ago, you can't even remember. You're just bringing up things just to bring them up. I mean,
let's go into the Google machine and see the last time the Seahawks were.
Yeah,
the Seahawks were shut out. Let's see. Let's see what comes up on the Google machine. Since Clevon don't want to talk about
thanks for doing the research on that, Cam. Yeah, thanks for looking that up.
I mean, I'm just trying to make sure that just trying to keep you on top of your toes, man. Since you don't want to talk about it. You don't want to talk about it. So the fans deserve to know, basically, is what I'm saying. So obviously they were shut out, and we talked about, or we will talk about it. Man, 2011, they lost to the Steelers 24-0. Do you remember that game?
I don't.
Was that a little eerily peculiar on Sunday?
Don't really.
See, fans, he don't want to have nothing to do. You don't even want to talk about it. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Cowboys and Chiefs. Cowboys get a big win. Chiefs get a big win. Who needed that win more? I'd say, man, the Chiefs needed that win more. To kind of get back on track, winning the game in their division versus the Cowboys, who were there. Was that an out of division game, if I remember correctly? The Cowboys played the Falcons. I mean, it's in conference, but not in their division. So I think that was the Chiefs needed that more. What say you?
Going into the week, I definitely thought the Chiefs needed it more, but understanding that their division is not nearly as strong as we originally thought, and given the fact that the Cowboys are actually playing for potentially a number one seed, the win was definitely better for them.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. I think that was a big win for the Chiefs to kind of get their. So we'll see if that plays into them getting their season turned around. But also something that happened late last week was Le'Veon Bell getting cut by the Ravens. Excuse me. Was that surprising to you? Do you guys need a running back? Are you kicking the tires on Le'Veon Bell up there in the Northwest?
Yes, it was surprising given the fact that I saw him have a few flashes of brilliance in one of those games. I'm like, okay, well, maybe Le'Veon is, found his sea legs underneath him and he's, is ready to contribute. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case in Baltimore. Yes, the Seahawks are kicking the tires on that.
And what do you see from that? What do you get out of there?
Our offensive line isn't great, so I don't know how much he brings to the table, but we're definitely talking about it.
Okay, so you like to have in a short amount of words, you'd like to have him out there.
I
If
mean,
I'm hearing you
we'll see
correctly.
we'll see what he has left. Obviously, the Ravens know something that perhaps us 12s up here and the 206 don't. So, I don't want to put too much stock into it, but yeah, we're kicking the tires.
Okay. Um, are the Rams still a contender without Robert Woods? Do you see them as a contender?
No,
You
not
say
really.
you don't see Odell Beckham as an adequate replacement.
No, I don't. And unfortunately, chemistry is a big part of football, Cam. And I think with his injury has definitely disrupted their chemistry, and teams are just not seeing in the same way that they were previously. And I think it's going to be a tough sled in the head for them.
So their running game, their offensive line, they're bringing in Von Miller. You don't see those as adequate steps to keep them afloat, keep them top in the NFC West.
Cam, they're probably a 500 ball club from here on out.
What did you just say?
I said they're probably a 500 ball club from here on out, which still probably gets them into the playoffs, but they're probably 500.
So what is the Rams record? So you got the Rams, if I'm understanding you correctly, at 7-3, 10 games into the season. You said they're 5 games out, there's 7 games left. So you have their over and under now here at 7. They're gonna go what, 7-10? Is that what you're saying? What exactly are you saying?
11-6, 10-7, somewhere in there.
11-6.
They're currently 7-3, right? So probably closer to 11-6.
So the Rams will not win more than 4 games the rest of the way.
In my opinion, they'll go a little bit over 500, if not 500. I mean, obviously you can't go 500 because there's an odd number of games, but
yeah,
a little
exactly.
over 500.
So again, let me ask this as clear as I can be. The Rams at 7-3. You're saying the Rams will not win 11 games this year?
No, they will win 11. I don't think they win more than 11 games. They win about 11 games.
How confident are you in this?
Let me think on that.
He's just making these wild assertions with
Not
no
wild assertion.
with no willingness to back up these comments. Fans, you see what's going on.
Cam,
You see what's going on here, fans.
Let me ask you the question.
Fans.
How do you feel about what I just said?
I feel you're being absolutely absurd, and I'm trying to get me a free dinner
okay. So
lunch out of this.
So you think they'll win 12 games then? At least 12 games.
I think they will win out of their next 7 games. They will win 4 of these games. Yes, absolutely. 4 of these games. So
Cam. So are you willing to put something on that on the 12?
No, you can't turn this around on me. This is your prediction. This is your prediction. Saying
I'm asking, but I would be wagering it with you. So that's the question.
Well, we'll see what you come up with how committed you are to this number.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
we'll see how committed you are to
check
that number.
The schedule just to get real curious about it.
Just to get familiar with it. Yeah, that might be worth some checking.
Let me check the schedule real quick, Cam. Just because you seem to be trying to call me out here. I mean,
well, I'm just saying. You're making some wild assertions, but yet you're not willing to back any of these.
I said they would go about 500. How's that a wild assertion?
Well, I asked you how confident you were in that, and you didn't seem very confident at all, actually.
Oh, I'm extremely confident. What do you want to do?
Let me see who they got next. The Los Angeles Rams. They're on a bye this week.
Mm-hmm.
So they have Green Bay, loss. Jacksonville win. Atlanta win. Seattle win.
No,
Minnesota.
that's at Arizona. Get
What did I
it
say?
straight. Get on the right page here.
No, I said Green Bay lost. Jacksonville win. Arizona. Well, they already got mopped
Yeah,
up.
because you
by
said
that.
Atlanta at first. You got a
I'm
little
sorry.
ahead of yourself.
I'm sorry.
I tried to right the ship here a little bit.
So
That was
Jacksonville,
at Arizona.
Seattle.
So at Green Bay, Jacksonville, and then at Arizona. So start there. So continue on.
They beat Jacksonville. They beat Seattle. Minnesota.
At Minnesota.
I'm gonna say they beat Minnesota.
And then the Niners.
Ooh. Ooh. And they get the Niners at home because they just got pounded there. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna say they beat Jacksonville. They beat Seattle.
So how you want to do this?
Brazilian?
Is that what you said?
They beat
Brazilian.
They beat San Francisco the last week of the season. Can they beat Minnesota or Baltimore?
You said a Brazilian hearty feast on this? Yeah, I said 11 games. You on 12 on them?
Well, they're gonna go 11 games. Can they go 12 games? I'm not so sure they're gonna go 12 games. Just looking at the schedule. I can Minnesota, Baltimore. I believe they'll win one of those games, which I'm not gonna go 12 games on them. Okay. I'm not going 12 games on Matt Stafford.
Okay. No. So I wasn't just that far off. I mean, you were acting like I was in like outer space with my prediction. So but then you saw the schedule and you realized where I was coming from. So that's cool. I'm glad that we can have these kind of coming to truth moments at times.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Makes a lot of sense when we like look at it together in a real constructive manner. Yeah.
So
you understand the logic of what I was saying suddenly.
Again, I'm not willing to put any money on Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, you don't feel confident in
not in Matthew Stafford. No, I don't. So I'm not going to go in there.
And again, I feel extremely confident looking at the schedule one more time. What I said. So sure thing. If you want to jump in, I'm more than willing to do that. How you feel about it?
I mean, you haven't said nothing really. You said they're going to win.
I'll say it out loud, fans. The Los Angeles Rams will not win more than 11 games this season.
So that means they will not win more than 4 games the rest of the way, is what you're saying.
4-3 is what I said. At the very best, they won't win more than 11 games.
Okay, we got to revisit that one.
Think about it.
Well, yeah, we got Brazilian on the table. We're gonna have to think about that.
Yeah, because I'll even give you the Green Bay game to think about it.
Mm-hmm. So Rams are not a contender without Robert Woods. Woods who went down with a knee injury. He's gonna be out for a year. And kind of gives Odell Beckham a chance to kind of shine in this offseason, or not the offseason, but in this second half of the season for them. We'll see how after they come back after the bye, if he's built any chemistry with Matt Stafford and what we can see going from there. What's been the most impactful injury in the NFL this so far this season for you?
For me, I would have to say Derrick Henry. He makes them somewhat vulnerable. Although their record doesn't reflect it, once you kind of get into the playoffs and start playing better teams, even if you have home field advantage, you don't have the battering ram that is, King Henry. So I think a team that had a chance to be, Super Bowl contenders, I think that once they get to the playoffs, they'll get exposed.
I mean, I can't go with one specific injury, but you want to go Tua, if you want to go Devontae Parker, you want to go Albert Wilson, you want to go who else got hurt out there or they weren't cut? I mean, it's down south. There's a rash of injuries. Injury bugs floating around down south in the 305 that kind of sent that team spiraling. Sure. So most impactful injury. I mean, Russell's injury hurt them because he was out 3 games. And what was their record during those 3 games?
They lost the game and got hurt, and they were 1-2 in the games after that.
Nobody wanted to see Gino. Did Gino get his uniform taken away going into Sunday's game? Was he on the sideline?
Yeah, he was out there. I mean, certainly he's ready to play at any given time. I mean, he understands that Russ's injury was pretty significant, and any type of tweak here or there, he needs to be ready to go. So yeah, I think Gino would kind of be a little bit disappointed in the kind of the stance that you're taking. I mean, why would they take his jersey away? You won a game.
Now you're caping for Geno Smith?
No, but I mean, I'm a little curious that you were talking about taking his jersey away. I mean, wow.
I mean, well, they saw the production they got out of that position once their star quarterback went down. I mean, what are you talking about here?
Well, I think he did the best he could in the situation, the circumstances that he was presented with. I mean,
All right, you want to talk about Minnesota manhandling the Chargers? I don't know if manhandling was quite the.
Well, they beat them up pretty good, Cam, considering that the Chargers were favored. I mean,
the way I saw the game, I'm not sure manhandled.
Of some people, say that they're special, have a really unique, infectious culture going on over there. But I think they've lost 3 of their last 4 games.
They lost 3 of the last 4, but manhandling, I think, was a strong term. Term I probably wouldn't have used there.
I don't recall them ever really being ahead in the game, so I think Minnesota.
They did take the lead. They took the lead in the third quarter.
Took the lead and just kind of kept, just throwing the jab at them. To give one of your boxing metaphors, just kept, just kept them away, kept them at bay, just jab, 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 and they were never really in the game.
No, they took the lead in the third quarter. So your memory.
The Chargers could lead for a short moment.
Chargers took the lead for a short moment,
but not at the end of the game, though.
Well, obviously they lost, so they didn't have the lead at the end of the game. Yeah,
just wanted to clarify.
How do you have the Chargers finishing their season? But no, we already got something on them getting 11 wins, so we'll leave that one alone. We had some surprises this week in the NFL. The Washington football team beat the Buccaneers. The Panthers beat the Cardinals, surprisingly. And I really didn't think it was a surprise that the Eagles beat Broncos. I mean, that's kind of what I expected from the Eagles, to kind of step up and beat the team that they're better than. So which one of these wins were you most surprised with? Was it the Washington football team over the Buccaneers or the Panthers over the Cardinals? And your boy Cam is back, by the way.
It was absolutely the Washington football team over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, TB12, greatest quarterback of all time. I mean, anytime he loses to an inferior opponent, you're somewhat surprised by that in and of itself. The Washington Redskins hadn't been able to do anything up to this point, so to beat the defending Super Bowl champions was pretty spectacular.
The greatest of all time. He loses to a team who loses their best pass rusher. Is that what you're trying to tell me? The greatest guy of all time?
Yeah, in addition, he loses to a team that lost their best pass rusher. Yeah. So you throw that into the equation, it's even more mind-boggling.
No, I think that comment you made is mind-boggling. That's really what I think. Simple as that. I just think that comment you made. Panthers get beat by the Cardinals. Certainly, that was
Panthers beat the Cardinals with the resurrection of Cam Newton.
With the resurrection, the way you put, was this the second coming or what? Well, I mean,
a second coming to Carolina, yeah.
Okay. Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Second coming to Carolina. How do you think this second time is going to go, though? Do you think he's going to get this team winning? Do you think he starts on Sunday? Do you think they follow him like the leader he was?
Definitely starts on Sunday. Definitely gives him the best chance to win. Yes, they follow him like the leader that he is of that organization. and he will make the most of his second opportunity there.
He's gonna make the he's gonna make it. He's gonna make it. He's gonna do better then, huh? Okay. That'll be interesting to see kind of how he watched this second time around with the Cardinals, or excuse me, with the Carolina Panthers. That's going to be interesting to see. But the Cardinals, without their quarterback and in the sore little shoulder that you called 4 weeks ago, he's out of second game. Do we worry about this? I don't think this is much to be concerned with. They're resting him. He probably could have played, but we'll see how things shape up if he's able to play this week. But good call on you, talking about the man's little shoulder, and then he goes out for 2 weeks to kind of repair that little shoulder. So, although it was a lot of hate in that comment that you made, there was apparently some accuracy there. We'll give you credit for that. Eagles beat the Broncos. Jalen Hurts, man, I'm gonna say it again. Jalen Hurts has all the tools to be a successful quarterback in the NFL. Can he put that together week after week after week? I don't have the confidence in that. But I know when he wins, it's nothing to be surprised about because he has all the tools to be successful in the NFL. Would you agree with that?
I mean, I don't see why the Dolphins don't trade him for Tua right now. Just Alabama for Alabama, alumni.
Goodness gracious.
Given the fact that Tua kind of actually, took his spot with a slightly stronger throwing arm, but Jalen's proven to be more durable and a little bit better, with his feet. So why not make it interesting for everybody and just pull the trigger on that?
I thought we banned the Dolphins talk. You keep wanting to sneak this in the show. I thought we banned this.
Oh, really? After all those injuries that you just brought up earlier? The entire Finn squad apparently they're all beat up and broke down.
Oh my goodness, this guy! Why we're not trading with Philly? We're not trading anything with Philly.
I don't see why you.
Philly already has our top pick. They're going to have our top pick of the draft. So we don't have our own pick. So they're going to, depending on how worse we get or how better we get, Philly's going to draft them within the top 10, and that's our pick they're drafted with. So I'm not trading anything with Philly.
Okay. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, well, keep it to yourself next time. Chargers, we talked about the Chargers losing to the Vikings. The Rams upset by the 49ers. That's a 49er team I expected to see all year. The team that we saw hard hitting, run the ball, stop the run, give you a good licking. That's the Rams team I expected to see most of the season. And we haven't got them now. Or, excuse me, that's the 49er team I expected to see most of the season. And we haven't got them until then. What was your thoughts on the Rams or the 49ers beatdown of the Rams?
Finally healthy. It finally clicked. They got the matchup that they wanted, and they definitely took advantage of it. I was surprised that in the fashion that they won. To be perfectly honest with you, they haven't really shown that to this point, like you're saying. I don't know if this is something that's sustainable or not, but if so, that is a huge wild card in the NFC.
Yeah, I was surprised by the outcome. Again, I expected the Niners to be better this season overall. So that I kind of expected them to play similar to what we saw on Monday night throughout the year. They haven't done so, hence why they're underperformed all season long. So we'll see if they how they finish out the season. If they finish off strong and come back for next year, we'll see how it's going. But that was a beatdown that they put on the Rams the other night. I mean, just an absolute body beatdown. The Steelers and the Lions, they ended a tie. I guess the Lions didn't lose. That's one way to look at that, right? Just so simply, the Lions did not lose. You can give the Steelers credit for doing their thing, but ultimately, the Lions did not lose. Who are you giving more credit to, the Steelers or the Lions?
Hard to say because the Steelers didn't have their starting quarterback. The Lions have been on the wrong end of some really ridiculous ways to lose games. So, like you're saying, the mere fact that they didn't find a way to lose this game and found a way to at least, play it to a draw, got to give it to them, man. But yeah, Steele's in the quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, line one.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron
How,
Rodgers, line one.
how about Russell Wilson, line one? I
Oh
understand that
wow.
there's some conversation going on with Russell that might lead him into play for.
Don't think that Pittsburgh's quite a big enough market for Russell Wilson at this point. So he would
Oh, there
definitely be
are,
going to a bigger market, not a smaller market.
you know what? Sierra wants to be on the
Yeah,
East
Sierra
Coast.
don't want to be in Pittsburgh.
Sierra's
I'm
a flight away.
100% certain of that. Uh, I know you have your Sierra contacts. Ask how you feel about Pittsburgh in December.
Yeah, Sierra have a penthouse in New York,
Yeah,
which is
no,
like
they're
a
not cool with
2 hour
it.
flight.
Yeah, no, she's not cool with it.
Okay. Well, we'll see how that works out. But Mike Tomlin might have be the deciding factor in all that one there.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Um, so Steelers and Lions in the tie. We haven't seen the tie for a while. Let's run down our picks from last week. We both picked the Baltimore Ravens to win that game. Clearly, we were wrong there on that one. I had
Miles
Cleveland.
Gaskin.
No, it's not Miles Gaskin. Did not. It's to cut it out. I had Cleveland beating New England, and you chose New England. You really did feeling Mac Jones, huh?
Well, Cam, the AFC East suddenly, for no good reason, is somewhat up for grabs at this point. I just felt that they were going to seize the day and, just handle business.
Hmm. Um, we agreed on Dallas, Tennessee, and Indy winning. Um, Buffalo, we agreed on that win. Pittsburgh, we did not expect Pittsburgh to tie with the Lions. I certainly didn't. Tampa Bay, Buccaneers, they lost to the football team, as we spoke about. The Cardinals, they lost to the Panthers, surprised by Cam Newton. Um, the Los Angeles Chargers, they lose to the Minnesota Vikings. Not sure the score was as bad as I have it here, but they did lose to the Minnesota Vikings. Um, I had Philly beating Denver. Why did you have Denver beating Philly? What was the logic behind that one?
They were just a really steady team. They don't do anything really great, but, they're always in every game. And if you make a mistake, they're, liable to capitalize on it. I didn't really feel, Philadelphia Eagles being that strong going across the country to do anything extraordinary. Hats off to them for winning that.
So we talk about our picks against the spread there. We both got one right. I had Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Philly, I believe, won me that competition.
Okay.
Or excuse me, gave me 1 point for the competition. You had New England, Denver, and the Chargers. The Chargers.
Pitiful.
Or excuse me, the Rams, I should say. I'll take that back. Yeah, the Rams. So
Yeah, I had that before knowing that Robert Woods got hurt. Okay, yeah. I kind of put an asterisk by that one, if you don't mind.
No.
Fans, you see how he is. Just saying.
So you got one out of correct, one of those correct. So we had another tough week with single digit wins. Single digit wins in the points against the spread, and then your points against points against the spread, and then your confidence picks. Well, no, our confidence picks is coming up. So that was your total points for the week, and then your games against the spread. For the confidence picks, it was just as bad as a week for us both. I had Baltimore winning. That was 1 point. Buffalo was 2 points. The Rams were 3 points. Cardinals were 4 points, and Dallas were 5 points. So all I got was 5 and 2. Dallas and Buffalo won for me to give me 7 points. Clevon, you had Tampa Bay, Buffalo for 2 points, Indy for 3 points, the Rams for 4 points, and the Buccaneers for 5 points. Well, the only teams that won for you were the Baltimore and Indianapolis Colts. So that gave you 5 total points. So in this category, we are now looking at 120 points for myself at 80%, 112 points for you at 74%. So, yeah, what's that look for? You haven't been consistent in this category all season long. What's that look for?
Whatever.
Huh?
It's just bulletin board material, man. We need some bulletin boards. We need some flashcards to show the fans what's been going on. But yeah, we'll work on that. I'm working on that.
Okay, well, you keep working on that. So coming up for this week, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to see where we are. So we reviewed our picks and our picks against the spread. Let's talk about the NBA segments here now. Take a little quick break. You need some time? You need a moment?
Give me 90 seconds.
All right.
All right, ready to go.
Ready to go? You there?
Yep.
All right, man. Give me a moment here. Help me dig into my bag. All right, man. Looking at some NBA topics. Is Frank Vogel on a hot seat after 8-7 start this season?
8-8 after the loss today, and the answer is yes. It's on the hot seat.
He's on a hot seat, but he hasn't had his full complement of players. How you guys gonna put him on a hot seat?
You know what? The Los Angeles Lakers is a little bit different animal than other teams. What you will accept and endure.
A little different. How so?
Standard is a little bit different.
How are they different than anybody else?
Championships, man. This team is not in championship caliber state right now.
Do they have a championship roster there, sir?
They certainly have the pieces that can compete for a championship, and I think ultimately, if they get healthy and stay healthy, could win a championship with a few trade and free agency moves out here.
What you want to see? Mike Williams going deep every time? You want to see him throwing some wheel routes or?
No, I'm talking about the Los Angeles Lakers. I think the biggest problem right now is Kent Bazemore is not playing that well at a small forward, and LeBron's been out. So, but still, yeah, they should be winning more games than they have been.
So, Frank Vogel is on a hot seat. Does he make it through? Does he make it through Super Bowl time? Does he make it halfway through the season?
Depends on if they're able to, kind of bounce back and right the ship.
Wow, that's crazy. I think you might be the only Laker fan kind of echoing these thoughts here.
Yeah, I don't know if you know, Tyronn Lue actually has a clause in his contract that if LeBron comes asking for him, that he can opt out of his contract with the Clippers. And
are you sure about that? You sure Ballmer put that in his deal?
Yes, I mean those are the kind of deals that Steve makes. I mean, he's confident. Top 10 richest man in the world.
I'm not sure that there's a clause in his contract to go when LeBron makes a phone call. I don't think that's an option.
Ask him at the next press conference you're at.
I certainly will. I mean that's a wild assertion you have right there. Um, are the Golden States a legitimate title contender?
For now, yes. They've certainly been able to kind of rekindle some of the magic that they had previously in years past with Steph Curry and Draymond, and a very free flowing offense. And if Klay Thompson can give him anything once he comes back, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I expect Klay to be a little bit of himself when he comes back. Obviously they're gonna kind of coddle him and be mindful of not wanting to overwork him at all. But there you go. Who's been more impressive this season, the Bulls or the Wizards?
I think the Chicago Bulls have been more impressive. I really didn't think those pieces were going to come together the way they were. I watched them, beat the snot piss out of the Lakers a few nights ago, and
Did they beat the who? Beat the piss out of who?
Los Angeles Lakers. It was embarrassing. DeRozan was busting them up. Lonzo Ball was busting them up. Levine was dunking on him. It was a sight, man. Yeah, so I've definitely been impressed with what they've been able to do and how they've been able to put it all together so quickly.
Interesting. So quickly. So, what's do they finish in first place? The Bulls? Does the Wizards finish above fifth place? The Wizards? I mean, you tell me when you say you've been impressed by how they put it
I
together.
don't think it's sustainable over an entire season. So no, I don't think the Bulls finish first, and I don't think the Wizards do either. But I think they're definitely formidable right now. Given where the league is, so early into the season, and the fact they've been able to stay healthy.
Okay. Is it time to label Zion Williamson a bust? Did he get a DNP last night?
Zion hasn't actually played all season, Cam. He's been overweight and just kind of starting to get back into shape. So the mere fact that he was the number one pick in the draft and, a player that was supposed to be somewhat of a face of the league, not so much.
Easy for you to hate on this guy. I noticed that.
Big Cam, you there?
I'm here. I was looking for you. The most impressive rookie this far of the NBA season is who?
I would have to say Mobley over at Cleveland. Those guys are in third place. And
unfortunately, he just got hurt.
True.
What about Barnes? Barnes in Toronto.
He hasn't been bad, but I think Mobley's been the most impactful at this point. Pre-injury, of course, but that's I don't really see anyone else that's really sticking out too much. Cade Cunningham has been injured, just kind of starting to get his legs underneath him. Haven't seen too much from Suggs. A few flashes from Jalen Green, but I would have to say Mobley to this point.
Mobley, hands down over Barnes.
Not hands down. I mean, it's fairly close, but I would give the edge to Mobley just as far as being impactful. I mean,
okay, well we can keep an eye on that as the season progresses. Is Milwaukee in jeopardy of missing the playoffs this season?
Absolutely, they are. I mean, everyone has they have a bullseye on their back and everybody's aiming for him, and not quite sure Giannis is going to be able to replicate the superhuman performance that he had in the finals last year. So yeah, they have a chance of missing the playoffs.
Very slim chance. I would think they'll be right in the middle of the pack come playoff time, but it is early. Very slim chance. And is Brooklyn still the team to beat in the East?
No, I think until this
I know why
Kyrie
you
Irving
craft
thing
this
gets
one.
resolved, I don't think that they're going to be the number one seed by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, this Kyrie Irving issue has to get resolved. Yes, and they're looking like they need Kyrie Irving because so far James Harden has been an All Star in the NBA. They need him to be a superstar in the NBA, not just an All Star. And with him playing as he is currently at the All Star level, they need Kyrie Irving to kind of mix things up. So. Who should they be? Who should they get to kind of? Can they get anybody to kind of fill the void? Is Mr. Australia not getting the job done? Patty Mills, you said you weren't scared of him. 2 weeks ago. Are you less scared of Patty Mills now?
Am I any more or less scared of Patty Mills than I was the last time we spoke about him? But yeah, if they don't get Kyrie Irving back, I don't think they're going to get past the Eastern Conference.
Mm, okay. What do you think about the Staples Center new name? Crypto.com Arena.
How do you feel about it? I mean, how appropriate is that, man? The Crip House? Is that what you said? In LA?
Crypto, yeah.
And you pay $700 million to call it the Crip House? Wow, that's ingenious, man.
Hey,
In South Central LA. Who would have thought?
Just a little south of South Central, but yeah. It's wild. It's wild. And it's funny how it happens. I was talking to Shams at the Staples Center yesterday during the halftime game, and then as I'm walking back to my seat, I get the alert that he's already reported this. So I was like, wow, well, this was not even on our conversation. So in Crypto Arena, I mean, you heard what Paul George said, man. It's like they're stripping away the legacy there that's been going on in the Staples Center the last couple of years, the last several years, I should say. And good thing that they're going to be onto their new arena, the Intuit Dome here pretty soon. Which team should be more concerned? I'm guessing this is about a playoff berth. Atlanta or Portland? And
I'm going to say the Portland Trailblazers need to be a little bit more concerned. They don't have a whole lot of chemistry over there. They have a lot of nice pieces. They don't necessarily all fit together. I'm not 100% confident that Chauncey Billups is going to be able to turn it around in a short period of time. So I would have to say Portland.
Who should be more concerned? Yeah, I don't expect, but do we expect Portland to be as good as Atlanta coming into the season?
No, but we expect them to be a playoff caliber team with the likes of Logo Lillard and CJ McCollum and they're Nurkic. They should really be
I mean, but we just can't. I have trouble saying who should be more concerned because that means that Atlanta and the Portland Trailblazers were kind of on the same plane coming into the season, where I think we expected much more than we expected them both to make the playoffs. To your point, but we expected much more from the Atlanta Hawks than the Portland Trailblazers. So
that's a valid point. And
so
they haven't lived up to where they left off last season, but we'll see where Ice Trey can take them.
And I'll let you answer this. You don't need my assistance with this. Is Anthony Davis still a top 5 player in the NBA?
I think he's got durability issues, so I'm gonna have to take him a few pegs down.
When you say you have to
when healthy, quite possibly, but that's such a big question mark that I think it's hard to kind of put him in that top 5 category.
So you say you take him a few pegs down. That's out of top 5, or when you say a few pegs, help us out. Where are these pegs?
That would be out of the top 5, Cam.
Hey, I'm just trying to clarify, man. That's all I'm trying to do.
Okay, and thanks for doing that.
I'm trying to clarify exactly what you
Not
mean.
not quite as low as Kawhi. Still ahead of Kawhi, but
You have AD better than Kawhi?
Yeah.
I don't even know why I bought into that. You just trying to throw something out there to get a rise out of me. But you saying AD is better than Kawhi? Come
When's
on.
the last time you seen Kawhi?
When's the last time I seen Kawhi? Outside of the Intuit presentation?
I'm sorry. Let me be more specific. On the basketball court in an NBA professional game.
It's been some time.
Okay.
It's been since the playoffs, since round 2.
So yeah, your snide remarks. I mean, kind of keep it in perspective what you're talking about.
Again, you're making it sound as if.
I mean, no offense, Mr. Ballmer. I mean, Kawhi misses whole seasons at a time, man. Come on now. Sometimes when he comes in, he does things, but that's cool and all. But I mean, when you miss whole seasons at a time, you can't compare yourself to someone like an Anthony Davis, even though he's, a little bit on the fragile side of things, but still, man, plays 50 more games than Kawhi. No offense, Mr. Ballmer. No offense.
Oh my goodness gracious! Oh
Mr.
my
Ballmer,
goodness!
no offense to you guys in that Clipper organization. You guys are trying to do great things, but I'm just saying.
You just saying what? You just want to dig on Kawhi?
Not particularly durable.
The whole purpose of this segment was to
not particularly durable. I just said you asked the question. I said although he's falling out of the top 5, he's still a little bit higher than Kawhi Leonard. That's all I said, and you took offense to that for some reason.
I mean, because that was blasphemous. I mean, that was
How's that blasphemous?
The question was: is Anthony Davis still a top 5 player? How Kawhi got into this comment? I mean, I don't know. How
I said no. Anthony Davis is not still a top 5 player, although he is still higher than Kawhi Leonard. That's all that I said. Still higher than a lot of people, Cam. So sorry you got offended that I mentioned Kawhi Leonard's name in there.
Now you know exactly just what you were doing.
I know how tight you are with those guys over there, and I can appreciate your loyalty.
You knew just what you were doing. That's the problem. That's the thing. You knew just exactly what you're doing by trying to throw his name in there and the stink you were trying to create.
No, I appreciate your loyalty to those guys and how you feel about them and whatnot.
It's not about my loyalty to them.
I asked the question: when's the last time you saw Kawhi Leonard on a basketball court?
Yeah. What is it? He was.
Well, I say, when is the next time you anticipate seeing him?
He was dunking on the Utah Jazz. I believe you saw the picture where he put Craig in the whole.
So that's May of 2021.
Yeah. And so Kawhi will probably be back around February, March of this season. Good thing is that Kawhi wants to be back. Great. So we're not far away because he wants to be back. He wants to play hard. He wants to earn this check. Except unlike some of those guys that are playing on the team across the hall, where they just show up and just kind of tune everybody else out. You know what I mean?
No. Champions on the other side of the hall. So.
Wow, he said champions. So let's reveal your Supremacy Rankings for the first time this season. NBA Finals prediction. I have Nets and Nuggets. Clevon has Lakers and Nets. I wonder how he feels about that particular projection. And Clevon, let's start with your Supremacy Rankings, and you can read those off for the fans and let them know where you're coming from.
Oh, I believe how I went with something like Golden State, Chicago, Phoenix, and then I believe I doubled back with who did I double back with at number 4?
Number 4, you have the Bulls.
So I have the Bulls at 2. So I had
Golden State, Washington Wizards.
The Wizards. Yeah,
The Phoenix Suns.
the Laker outcasts. I'm sorry, right. So we went with
Oh wow.
we went with we went with Golden State, the Wizards.
The Suns, Bulls, and Jazz.
Yeah, I like that. That's beautiful.
Is it?
Yeah, it's pretty spot on actually.
We'll have the Warriors at number 1.
Okay,
Bulls
we
at
agree
number
there.
2. No, yeah, we agree at number 1.
Okay.
Do we agree on anything else? We don't agree on anything else. I have the Bulls at number 2. Considering they're just past West Coast swing here that they did. I had them number 2. Losing the Clippers is no shame, but I had these guys at number 2. I also have the Bulls, Heat, and Nets.
Mm.
You didn't have
That
the Heat.
just sounds awfully ridiculous, doesn't
You
it?
don't.
You're disappointed
No.
you said that out loud to the fans, aren't you?
No, you don't have the Heat in your. You don't have the Heat in your
I don't have the
top
Heat.
5. The Heat
And
are
I
definitely
don't
your
have
top
4.
5.
I don't have what is that? What 4 Eastern Conference teams?
That would be 1, 2, 3 Eastern Conference teams.
So you got Golden State. I'm sorry, Golden State, and who else did you?
Bulls, Heat, and Nets, and then the Phoenix Suns.
Oh, so you have the Phoenix Suns in there. Okay, well, I guess.
Oh, you guys, you can't chew that one up. You can't chew that one up. I thought about the Wizards. I just don't think the Wizards are better than the Nets, Heat, or Bulls. They crossed my mind though. Do you think they're better than the Bulls, Heat, or Nets?
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, it's early into the season, but I mean, they're starting to find that chemistry, and they all have something to prove, given that no one believed in any of those guys. So.
Mm. Yeah, so that's how I have the Supremacy Rankings, and that was our first reveal. So Clevon, just to review, Clevon has the Golden State Warriors, the Wizards, Suns, Bulls, and Jazz. I don't know how you have the Jazz over the Suns, or the Jazz over the. You have them in 5th place, but I don't know how you have them over the Heat or the Nets, actually.
Well, the Nets don't have their second best player, and the Miami Heat only have one really, talented player. So
the Miami Heat only, the Miami Heat don't have one talented player. Is that what you just said?
Yep.
And who's the one talented player?
You already know who it is. We talk about this
well,
on the show all the time. He has to do everything all the time.
I mean, but Jimmy Butler,
and he has an Olympic gold medal around his neck at present. So
Jimmy Butler,
just so I don't have to be ambiguous about who we're talking about here.
So it is Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler doesn't have a gold medal around his neck.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Oh, when did these gold medals become important to you? Critically important, I should say.
I mean, it's just another level of championship. It's just the world championship as opposed to the NBA championship.
Wow. Who are you talking about? Bam?
Bam Adebayo.
Okay. I'm gonna leave that one alone. We're gonna revisit that one. We have plenty of time to revisit that one. Let's take a little break here, Clevon. When we come back, man, we're going to talk about this week in history. Got some educational pieces for you, and we're going to review. We talk about why we're in Vegas here. We got this Crawford Porter. Get your thoughts on that. Let the fans hear what you got to say, and then we make our predictions for next week in the NFL. So let's take a quick break here, and then we come back. We will talk about Ben Simmons. We got Frank Gore and Darren Williams. We're going to talk about that. Let me know when you're ready, Clevon, and we take a little break here and come back. You good?
Ready to go.
Clevon, should the NBA implement a vaccine mandate? I mean, we asked this question about the NFL. We agreed that they should. Should the NBA do the same thing?
100%.
And if the players choose not to get vaccinated, what do you do?
They don't play.
Do you still pay them? Do they still get paid?
It's a breach of contract.
Breach your contract if you don't go out there and play.
Correct.
Wow. Wow. Okay, I'll leave that one there. That's interesting that you say to breach a contract. You went right for the man's money. Will Ben Simmons, get traded before the Christmas holiday?
You know, he is such a valuable piece and so young, you would think so, but I kind of get the impression that Philly's willing to do the John Wall treatment. Just if we can't find what we want, then you're just going to sit there.
Yeah, that is pretty wild. That they're holding on to certain things. Like they want an all-star player in return. Like I don't know where they expect to get this type of guy from. Like that's surprising to me. Who's that young all-star player that they're going to get for Kawhi Leonard? Kawhi Leonard and his return. That's pretty wild to me. So we'll just leave that one alone. Because I don't think he goes before Christmas. I mean, that's like a month away. Does he go before Christmas? I don't. It's not likely. I don't think so. We have Frank Gore and we have Darren Williams gonna fight on the 18th of December. Who you have in this fight?
Yeah, Frank Gore all day.
All day, that easy. Speaking of boxing, we got Crawford versus Porter coming up. Again, Porter's in the background. That's why I'm in Vegas. How am I doing this? Like this. Right there. Crawford over there. That's why I'm in Vegas. We had some conversation with Crawford this afternoon. Conversation with Porter. Conversation with Kenny Porter. Sean Porter's dad. Had a long conversation with Tim Bradley this afternoon, talking about some of the unspoken rules of boxing. Talking about what they've learned in the boxing career. We also talked to Larry Wade this evening. Again, talking about he gives us a preview for this fight here and kind of recaps the fight with Plant and Canelo. So Larry Wade gave us some good information. If you want this information, go ahead and you're already on our YouTube page. If you're watching the video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and then you'll get notifications every time I go live or send a new video out that you can check out. So please make sure if you haven't done so, go ahead and subscribe on the YouTube page. That's Voice of the Fans on YouTube. Voice of the Fans on YouTube. Please make sure you go subscribe. And again, we have some hot new videos where we talk to Tim Bradley. Over 30 minutes with Tim Bradley, actually. We talked to Terrence Bud Crawford, Sean Porter. All this was post-fight press conferences. Next time we'll have a chance to talk to them will be on Friday, just to kind of see how they're going. A couple quick questions apiece, and as they usher them to some fancy restaurant to kind of fill up on these carbs after they've been starving themselves to death. So, what are your thoughts about Crawford and Porter? Who you expect to win this fight?
Expect Crawford to win, but you know how boxing is. Whenever you're kind of anticipating this being a fight before the big fight, it always goes sideways, and the underdog ends up winning. I mean, we just saw this with Joshua not all that long ago. I mean, we see it over and over again. Someone just kind of, gets their opportunity and just disrupts the natural order of things. So wouldn't be surprised if that happens, but I really do think that Bud Crawford's going to get it.
Yeah, I think Crawford is far too skilled for Porter. Also, I think that this is kind of a mile marker for Crawford, if you will. Nobody's going to argue with him about his boxing acumen. However, where nobody's going to argue with you about Porter's knowledge and skills and ability in the ring, I think he's going to be shooting for a knockout against Sean Porter, considering that Errol Spence was not able to knock out Sean Porter. I think that's his motivation for the fight. I think he's looking to do something that clearly no other fighter has done. That's to beat him for the ring, and then it'll be so wonderful just to kind of see how this thing play out all fair and square. Not necessarily with any scandals that may go on, but I'd like to see it just all kind of fair and square. These guys resolve the situation, and I think it's going to be. I'm confident Crawford will win, but we're looking for a good showing from Porter. So we'll see how things transpire there. Let's get into our pick segment for this week here. We agree. First name we disagree on. I'm taking the Jets to beat Miami, even though Miami has a better record. I'm taking the Jets to win that game in New York. Miami's leaving 85 degrees to go up there in some chilly, frigid weather, so I don't think they're going to be all hunky dory once they get outside up there. We both have New England. I have Buffalo beating Indy. Why do you have Indy beating Buffalo?
Indy doesn't score enough points for me. I don't like their offense all of a sudden.
But you have them beating Buffalo. Am I misreading this?
Yeah, you asked me why I had Indy beating Buffalo because I don't like Buffalo's offense. They don't score enough points for me.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see how that transpires if they're not able to score points. We agree on Baltimore, Cleveland, Tennessee. I have Green Bay over Minnesota. In Minnesota. Why do you think Minnesota can pull out this W?
Dalvin Cook, Kirk Cousins picking those guys apart. Aaron Rodgers didn't look particularly great last week. He played an inferior Seahawks defense and only put up 17 points. So
that's 3 scores.
One of them was really, 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 really late in the game.
Interesting. I got New Orleans over the Eagles. This is just the type of game the Eagles won last week.
That's when you was talking up your boy Jalen Hurts. Now all of a sudden you just just smack him across his face and walk off.
Well, no, if you remember what I told him, if you remember what I said, he has all the skills to be a successful NFL quarterback. He just isn't for whatever reason. And this is a game they won last week. This is a game where we got 10 games of this where we've seen that they're inconsistent. I had them win over the Eagles, or excuse me, win over the Broncos. I don't think they're going to turn around at home. Excuse me. I think they can turn around at home, and both of these teams are erratic. The 5-4 Saints versus the 4-6 Eagles. I think they can. I have New Orleans winning this game in Philadelphia because I think the Eagles are erratic. That's all. That's all. That's real truth telling right there. I have the football team losing to the Panthers, Carolina Panthers. I think they're going to ride Cam again. I mean, it's amazing. Cam gets close to the end zone, and all Twitter's going wild. He scores, and the world. It was like the earth is shattering with the back. It was like, come on, you're doing a little bit too much there, fella. 49ers and Jaguars, I think that's pretty commonsensical. The Jaguars are going to go down to the 49ers. Steelers at the Chargers, that's a Sunday night game. That's going to be impressive. That's going to be really impressive. Also, the Steelers, And it's going to be a really exciting game. I think. I think you agree with that too.
Yeah, we'll see who's playing quarterback.
And then the Giants playing the Buccaneers. I mean, we both agreed the Buccaneers. We both agreed Tennessee. I'm just kidding. We both agree that Pittsburgh, Arizona, and Kansas City, Dallas is the last game where we disagree on. So it'll be interesting just to see how things transpire there. The picks that we have for my picks, I got the Jets +3. I got New Orleans, as I mentioned, plus 1.5, and then Tampa Bay, I got them at 10.5. So I think that
Wow.
sounds like a
Okay.
perfect pick. You got India at 7, Cincinnati at 1, Minnesota at 2. So I mean, we'll see. Last week was 1-1. Clevon, this is
Sounds beautiful.
we are tied in this category, 59.8%. And I feel kind of shabby because I'm coming down from like a 90% in this category over 3 weeks ago. So we're actually tied in that category. Next week or this coming week, excuse me, we have Tennessee. We're talking about our confidence picks right now. I have Tennessee, Cleveland, Buffalo, New England, and Tampa Bay. Tampa ruling out or rounding out my top 5 picks and confidence picks. Again, that's Tennessee Titans, Cleveland Browns, Buffalo Bills, New England Patriots, Tennessee Titans. That is that's how I have the season rounding out this week. Cleveland, what do you have? Or that's my confidence picks right now. You have Carolina, Cincinnati. You got Cincinnati in there, San Francisco, Tennessee, and Tampa Bay. So you're looking forward to your boy Ryan Tannehill and Tampa Bay doing some good stuff, huh?
Sure, indeed.
Let me ask you a question. Let's go back. We're still talking about the NFL. Want to ask you if we go back to the draft. You were not a fan favorite of Mac Jones. You're not a favorite of Mac Jones. Since you've seen this kid in the NFL, how has your thought process changed about him?
Not a whole lot. I mean, he's all right, Cam. I mean, he has his moments, but he's a rookie. He's still an Alabama quarterback. I haven't seen like, you know, the the light bulb go off or anything to that extent or that nature. He's all right.
He's all right. Ain't that something, man? You refuse to give some people some credit. He's all right, the man says.
Serviceable.
Service. He just called Mac Brown serviceable. Who has Clevon? Now you're gonna make me go into defense mode. But you want to take that back? Just say I'll take that back. I didn't mean to say Mac Brown was serviceable.
No, I know.
You're ridiculous, man. You're ridiculous. Um, I mean you ought to be ashamed of yourself for making that statement. You're saying the quarterback is serviceable? Is that what I understand you to
I
say?
mean, probably was he like 10 touchdowns, 10 interceptions? You know what, 1,400 yards, something like that.
10 touchdowns. How many interceptions you think he has?
I mean, I don't have the stats up in front of me, Cam. I mean, I'm just throwing that out.
You just making stuff up, is what you're saying.
Didn't know it was such a thing. I mean, let's go find out about Mac Jones.
Uh,
Not even quite sure where this conversation is going with this, but Mac
Mac
Jones,
Jones. Mac Jones. He's number 18 in QBR. Number 18 in QBR.
13 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Got 2,300 yards though. That's kind of impressive.
I mean, he's ahead. Mac Jones. So look, Mac Jones is number 18. There's a certain quarterback, Jalen Hurts, right, is right behind him at 50.7, by the way. But they are both ahead of a guy from the Pacific Northwest or who plays in the Pacific Northwest, and Russell Wilson. And you say serviceable. You call the man a serviceable quarterback. However, he has a better QBR than the quarterback that you've been loving on for the last 10 years in the NFL.
Well, Russell Wilson doesn't get the opportunity to play
Oh,
against
my
the
goodness
Jets
gracious.
and the Dolphins on a a regular occasion.
But he gets San Francisco and Arizona
And
on
I believe
a regular
the
basis.
Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, I'm not looking at their schedule right in front of me, but now I mean I can now. Yeah, the Dolphins, the Jets, the Texans, the Jets. Yeah, not the Dolphins, the Jet. Yeah. The schedule's not that. It's not all
Clevon,
that. No.
Clevon, you ought to be ashamed for what you say. That's all I know. You ought to be ashamed.
He's all right. I said he was serviceable. I don't understand
Serviceable.
why you're
I
taking
mean,
such offense to that.
that's a slander because I told you he's going to be a good quarterback. If you remember correctly, before he was drafted, I told you he'd be a good quarterback. And you want to come out and say the kid is serviceable? He's far more than serviceable. He's actually they're fighting for a playoff berth to the AFC.
He's a little bit
East.
below Heineke right now.
Oh my goodness gracious! Yeah, okay, all right. This is fans. This is typical hate Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots from Clevon. Hate anything they try to do positive because he knows the coach makes a difference in there. And when the coach goes and handpicks a guy to be his quarterback and brushes everybody off, from picking said quarterback, now you got a problem with it. That's absolutely atrocious, Clevon. You're better than that. You are better than that. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up and see what you talk about Mac Jones, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Our confidence pick for this week here is we agree at Tampa Bay, Tennessee. They're both in our picks. However, mine's low, yours is high. New England, Buffalo. You don't have New England or Buffalo in your supremacy rankings or your conference picks. That's what I should say. Your confidence picks. I have Tennessee, Cleveland, Buffalo, New England, and Tampa Bay. You have Carolina, Cincinnati, San Francisco, and Tennessee. That's interesting. That's interesting there. So our supremacy rankings for the NFL right now at week 10 in the NFL, I have the Green Bay Packers, Tennessee Titans, Dallas Cowboys, Arizona Cardinals, and the Houston Ravens. Why am I saying Houston Ravens? The Baltimore Ravens. Well, you have Dallas Cowboys, Green Bay Packers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Arizona Cardinals, and the Tennessee Titans. How does the Cowboys skip ahead of the Packers, who haven't lost over the last month, I believe?
Played better. Packers had a very mediocre win against the Seahawks.
Okay. The Tennessee Titans, you have them at 5th. I have them at number 2. I mean, you want to explain to the people why you got the Cowboys as the best team in the NFL right now?
Sure, high-powered offense, great quarterback at Dak Prescott, leading them. Formidable running game with Ezekiel Elliott, Pollard as a complimentary back.
So you have them at
Quite
the number
possibly,
1.
one of the best corners in the game. Diggs leading the league in interceptions, and a pretty easy schedule in front of them.
Okay, what do you think of the Packers, Buccaneers, Cardinals? Can either of these teams kind of lay claim to this top spot in the NFC?
Sure, they all have an opportunity to do so. I mean, if the Cowboys regress, but I mean, if they continue to, they already kind of hit their pothole against the Broncos, and if they stay on, on track, on path, I think they're all right.
Wasn't the Didn't they just lose to the Broncos like last week?
No, they beat the Falcons last week.
Okay. Um, Tennessee Titans, Ryan Tannehill got your confidence. So we agree that Cardinals are in the right spot. You got Buccaneers, I had Cowboys, you got Ravens, I have Ravens, you have Tennessee. You want to talk about the Titans and how Ryan Tannehill and Adrian Peterson are going to form a new duel?
That's all they can hope for. I mean, right now they've been able to kind of weather the storm of the loss of King Henry, but we'll see what they continue to do.
Okay, that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how things transpire here. Clevon, anything we neglected to touch on here?
I don't think so, other than my fantasy football dominance
boy
hasn't come to an end. But I did have a pretty tough opponent last week that gave me a good run for my money and kind of nipped me at the end there. And I'm currently in second place. Not familiar with being there. It's been all season that I've been in first. So
it hasn't been all season, but yeah.
I mean, sorry, less that 1 week. I'm glad that you remember. Thanks for keeping me honest, sir, Cam.
I mean, I'm
ready to bounce back and reclaim my rightful place at the top of the fantasy football league.
So, fans, just so you know, this has been a terrible season for me in as regards to fantasy football.
Hey, Cam, I think it really all started at the draft. Like at the very beginning. This hasn't gotten any better since then.
It has not gotten any better since then. Fans, this is embarrassing to even admit right now. Your guy is in ninth place, 9th out of 10 spots right there. 9th out of 10 spots. I am still only even with all these losses, I'm still only 3 games out of first place, or 3 games out of playoff contention with 5 weeks to go. With 5 weeks to go, so I have to go undefeated essentially. And I match up with NWA this week. I'm going to have to find some magic because I got to go undefeated to stay in the playoff ranking because I at least got to make the playoffs, or I know I'm going to hear a little bit too much about this fantasy football competition. I know I'm going to hear a little bit too much about it during the whole off season. So I got to.
Okay, it'll start as soon as you're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. So. We'll start well before the playoffs even actually start. I mean, yeah, we'll be talking about that.
Oh, you really want to talk about it too, don't you? So that's where I'm at. In this it's odd because I'm in 3 different leagues. I have the same 2 of my Yahoo league. I have the same exact record. In the NFL league, I am in number 1 spot.
In my other league, oh man, I'm running those fools. In my other league, you should see my team, man. I'm the same boat in my other league. My skills just ain't on display in the Voice of the Fans league. I don't know why. It's a mystery because in my other league, I'm killing it.
It all started, fans, and I'll be 100% candid with you. It all started in the draft. I proposed that we do a virtual draft and we all get on a conference call. And just as I didn't have enough time to do my draft prep, but just as I start to do my draft prep, I get logged on, and then there's some idiot who doesn't know how to get logged on and figure out how to use the link and click on the link and he see himself on the screen. I mean, I don't know. So I spend the 15 minutes right before the draft. From the time it gets announced what draft pick I have to the time it's to make my draft pick, I'm trying to play with this clown who already has his image on screen, already is on screen ready to go, but doesn't know it, and then asking me how to fix this. So I'm trying to resolve this with him. It threw me off. It threw me off. Threw me off my course, and I just my team, and it's not even my team. I should say it's my running game that hasn't been able to recover from the picks that I made. Because I made some very key maneuvers. You know, my wide receiver core is deep. Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, uh, Hopkins is my wide receivers. Key wide receivers there, or key. That's a key position. I even have Jalen Waddle, who actually plays well, but it's been my running game again. Even Claypool is actually has been performing well, but it's been my running backs. Jones has been doing the best he can. Damian Harris, who plays his heart out, but neither one of these guys are giving me the workload that I've been getting from Antonio Gibson. So, Antonio Gibson was a pickup on the waiver wire. I think I drafted Harris. I'm pretty sure I drafted Harris. So it's been. Here I'm telling you about my squad. Javonte Williams has been my addition. I've been trying to count on. Antonio Gibson has been one of my additions. I even picked up McNichols from Tennessee, Jeremy McNichols, to see if he was going to get a chance to get some run in. But he, they brought in AP, so no run for him. Baker Mayfield, who actually does put up points. So that's my squad. That's my squad, guys. We just haven't been able to have an effective running game because Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield have been putting up enough points for me to be better than the position I'm in. And Clevon, I think you kind of been getting the lucky side of the stick.
You know, fans, I don't have that same sob story that Cam just told you. I started out very early, very focused, very prepared
Oh
for
my
the long
goodness!
haul of the season,
Oh my goodness!
and went out and anchored my team with Najee Harris, who quite possibly could be Rookie of the Year.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
where'd you get that
I
from?
started there, and
Where'd you
then I
get
went
that
and
from?
got Austin Eckler, and then I just loaded up my team with weapons. You know what I'm saying? I think I got Dak in like the 9th or 10th round. Yeah, everybody was sleeping on them. They didn't really know what they had. Went and got Buffalo's defense really, really, early, and have just been smothering, devouring people. You know what I'm saying? Obviously Cam is illustrating that he has no ability to adjust on the fly. I mean, these things happen at times, and you just have to, kind of follow what the league is doing, and make the necessary adjustments when the time presents itself. So I think that basically what he was saying is, he wasn't able to do that. Yeah, kind of pushed off his mark early and just hasn't been able to recover. Me, I just been kind of, just pacing myself. I'm on the last quarter, coming around that turn and just, turning on, accelerating. Michael Johnson style.
Dak was lucky as hell. That Dak pick was lucky as hell. You had no idea what Dak was going to do all
I certainly
season
did
long.
know what Dak Prescott
You
was
had
going to do.
you had no idea what Dak
Yes, I did.
how he was going to recover from all season long. Cut it out.
I certainly did. I watched his workouts on the Cowboy Network.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Najee Harris, he had no idea who Najee Harris was.
I certainly did. Quite possibly the second best back to come out of Alabama since Derrick Henry. I mean,
I messed around and gave him that tip when we were previewing fantasy football running backs. I gave him Najee Harris and it stuck with him, and he ended up picking him.
I researched Najee on my own. I knew what he was capable of doing.
I mean, your tight end, tight end Uzuma. I mean, you don't know anybody. You never been to Cincinnati. You don't know anybody in Cincinnati. How would you know to pick him?
I'm a student of
You
the
talk
game,
to.
Cam. I
Oh my
understand. I
goodness.
understand what I'm doing. I'm
Oh my
constantly
goodness gracious.
churning through, game film and footage to find, players that can, help the team win.
Fans, I won't hear the end of this, man. So I'm calling everybody out in the Voice of the Fans, Voice of the Fans Fantasy Football League. Thank you, NWA, for beating Clevon last week. I need somebody else, a couple more teams, just to smack him around within the next couple of weeks. Because as you hear, he's very full of himself, very full of himself. So if we can get this beat down on him, maybe things will look better for us. Because I just need to get 3 wins so I can get in the playoffs. And
that's all you need, Cam.
3 wins to get in the playoffs. I need somebody to smack this guy down to reality. I mean, he picked up Teddy Bridgewater, Jamal Williams, thinking he was a running back from Denver. He even got Brandon Cooks. Now, what kind of player goes out and picks up Brandon Cooks? Would draft Brandon Cooks? What? Not a very astute player. We know that.
He's their number one receiver. I mean, I was thinking that your guy Deshaun Watson maybe could get on the field and play a little bit, and then I thought that even when my man Tyrod Taylor went down, that the backup quarterback would know who to throw to. I mean, start there. Or make it all complicated.
So fans, Voice of the Fans, I implore somebody to come in here and then just snatch the chair out from under this guy. Now he's trying to do a balance beam. Now he's trying to balance an apple on his head and say, "Oh, this was all expected." Right. Stop it. Okay, just
from the beginning. I mean, it was all design.
Just stop it. But that's it, man. That's it, fans. I want to leave you this week with a quote here. Gold medals aren't really made of gold. They're made of sweat, determination, and hard-to-find alloy called guts. I'll repeat that. Gold medals aren't really made of gold. They're made of sweat, determination, and a hard-to-find alloy called guts.
Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, my goodness. What about Carmelo Anthony?
Is that who said that?
No, that's not who said that. I have no idea. He doesn't even know what any of these terminologies.
3 of those. What are you talking about?
Huh?
He's got 3 of those. What are you talking about?
No, this is Mr. Dan Gable who said this. A real Olympian, a true Olympian.
Oh,
okay. Carmelo Anthony. Come on. How are your Lakers, by the way? Give us a. Are you enjoying the Russell Westbrook experience? Are you enjoying the Carmelo Anthony experience? Talk to us about this.
I am enjoying the Carmelo Anthony experience. That's been a pleasant surprise. I was not expecting that type of productivity.
Oh, really? You thought he was done as well?
Not done. I just didn't think he was going to contribute to this extent.
Okay.
Russell Westbrook still needs to find his way a little bit. Yeah. It's a little bit of a challenge for him right now. And again, Frank Vogel's got his hands full, and he needs to be looking over his shoulder.
For who? Jason Kidd's in Dallas. Who's he looking over his shoulder?
Tyronn Lue on his right, and there's Fizdale on his left. He just needs to wake up and understand this is not a game, my friend.
Or is LeBron, when he comes back, is he going to be player coach?
Like I said, Tyronn Lue's on his right, Fizdale's on his left. I mean,
Ty Lue has a job, though. Ty Lue has a job. I don't know if you noticed this.
There's a clause in his contract that if LeBron comes calling, you can just say I'm out.
I don't know any calls like that. I don't know. And he's with Ballmer. He's not with one of the 7 kids who owns the Lakers, a portion of the Lakers. He has Ballmer as his owner.
It's just Jeannie now. Come on, listen to you, man. Wow, get on into the personal.
I mean,
it's out of the ownership of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah,
that's kind of rude.
It's rude now. No. Where's
that coming from?
There's 6 of the Bus families.
Jeannie Bus runs the Lakers, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, she does. But there's 4 other of her brother sibling.
What does it have to do with the clause in Tyronn Lue's contract that says if LeBron says, "Hey,
there's no clause.
We're putting the band back together."
There's no clause.
You remember how I took you to 4 straight championships? I need you
There's
over
no
here
clause.
for a hot second.
There's
It
no
may not
clause.
be that long, but hey, man.
There's no clause in his contract that allows
Ask him.
Huh?
Ask him.
I will ask him, but I can tell you already that there's no clause that allows that because the Lakers don't even have money to pay him. You know, they went cheap with Frank Vogel.
Of course they do. Like
you would think
money. Did you see that you got $700 million for the stadium? Okay, thanks.
Well, that's not their stadium. Do you understand that? That's not that goes to the Kings.
They do revenue sharing.
that was a good one. That was a good one. They will be called cryptocurrency here, crypto back in crypto arena.
Crip House.
Starting Christmas.
Snoop already got a song ready to go.
Who's that?
I said, bet Snoop already got a song ready to go.
Probably so. He'll probably perform it on Christmas Day. He'll probably perform it Christmas Day
at the Crip House
at the crypto. However, again, what you're not understanding is there are 6 bus kids who all have a piece of the
Why
Lakers.
keep bringing this up? Why keep bringing up this bus thing?
Because you want to talk about Jeannie Buss like she's a sole proprietor. She's not. This is what I'm trying to tell you.
Jeannie runs shop over there. Okay,
she runs the Lakers.
The other siblings have very small percentages of it, man.
No.
She's run everyone else out.
No.
And it makes no difference.
They all have the same
scheme of things.
They all have the same.
What does it have to do with Frank Vogel's job security? Absolutely nothing.
What did it have to do with Frank Vogel's job security? Jeannie Buss cannot, on her own, fire and hire Frank.
Yes, she certainly can. She has complete autonomy over basketball operations.
Oh my goodness gracious! Okay, all right, Clevon. So you're ready now. You're ready to fire Frank Vogel, the guy who won you a championship 2 years ago. You guys are getting warm.
His seat is getting warm.
So when Trevor Ariza was the key to win you guys a championship back in 2009, you decided not to bring him back.
He decided not to come back.
No, because you guys lowballed him. That's why. Because the Lakers lowballed Trevor Ariza. That's why he decided not to come back. Just like the Lakers lowballed Alex Caruso. In fact, they didn't even lowball Alex Caruso. They just decided not to make him an offer. Wow. He tried to come back and say, hey, look, here's the contract that the Bulls are offering me. Do you guys want to beat that? Nobody picked up the phone. Nobody even returned the call on Alex Caruso.
Tough decisions have to be made, in professional sports sometimes, Cam.
Tough decisions. Nobody even picked up the phone to say, "Hey, Alex, thanks for the heads up."
Yes,
but we're good over here.
Someone picked up the phone and said, "Hey, unfortunately, we want to go in a different direction, and that's not an opportunity that we're going to be able to match."
Oh my goodness gracious! So Alex is went to go do his things and has the Bulls. Alex Caruso has the Bulls in the top spot in the Eastern Conference right now. Alex Caruso, and while the Lakers are looking for point guard play, they're looking for defense play, and they're looking for some continuity because they're fragile stars. Can't carry the load. AD's fragile. LeBron is showing that he's old and fragile. So there's problems arising on the
Cam. At least unlike other superstars, that play in the same building, at least they're trying. At least they're getting out there and trying to do it.
Oh, is that what you're happy about? That you're happy that they're out there shooting layups from half court? That's what you're happy about?
I mean, at least they're competing. At least they're trying to give their team what they can give them.
I hear you. Be defensive of your squad all you like. Be all you like. You can be defensive of your squad. Fans, but I want to, once again, I want to thank you guys for tuning into Voice of the Fans podcast. I want to leave you with this quote, same quote once again. Gold medals aren't really made of gold. They're made of sweat, determination, and a hard-to-find alloy called guts. Right now, the Clippers are showing their guts by winning. Before they lost the other night, they had a 6-game winning streak. They lost got that snapped, and so they have to start another streak going right now. So we'll see what the Lakers are able to do if they're able to come together and how much they miss LeBron. Did LeBron play, by the way? Today's
Did not.
Wednesday. He's supposed to play on Friday. Did they win? Did they beat the Bucks? What was the
They
record
did
there?
not know.
So now they're 8-8. They're 500.
500.
What was the
I
game
don't know what
tonight?
the final score was.
The
Can't
final
remember,
score
but
was
they
it?
just didn't win the game.
Did they
That's
get
all
a
I heard.
30 or 40-point loss? Was it 30 or 40-point loss?
It was neither of those.
You sure?
100% sure.
Before
Yes.
we sign off, let's go ahead and take a look. Let's just, just for shits and grins, let's take a look and see what the actual loss was that they suffered. Here we go. Lakers 102, Milwaukee 109. So that's a little closer. I mean, you guys had it within 10 points. I mean, that's a good work out of you. But I mean, an L's a L, like you said earlier, right?
L's a L.
L's a L. Well, again, fans, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry if you're on Cleveland side taking this L. I apologize. Maybe I won't be so harsh next week, but I want to ask you guys to please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. I want to thank you again for tuning in to our show. Hit the like button, leave a comment, let us know you're here. And then, as always, I want to thank you for making our voice your choice. Clevon, have a good week, big guy. We'll talk to you soon.
Good night, bro.